I got a question too. Do we have any houses in our neighborhood that have been, bought back by FEMA or not gonna be rebuildable in that area?
They haven't decided on one yet.
Well, if I can, I apologize for being late. That traffic.
This is Doug Hewitt, our city manager.
Yes, thank you. I had to go over to Bojangles and pick up the fried turkey. So I will stop by City Hall tomorrow and you can get a slice. We've got our Christmas party. Again, apologies for being late. I'm not sure which neighborhood you live in though, ma'am.
Aaron Lake.
Aaron Lakes.
It's the one right behind the police station here.
Yes, ma'am. We have identified, and I've got it somewhere in my email, a number of homes and structures which exceed the 50% threshold for repairs. Which means that FEMA will not, they will not be able to be rebuilt back in the way in which they were designed if they are in the floodway or in the floodplain. Aftonshire, is anyone off from Aftonshire, Creek's Edge here? Half of that condo complex is in the floodway, which means it's gonna flood. I mean, there's no other way to put it. The floodplain is in the 100-year floodplain, and we have a significant number of properties in there, and I'm thinking 30 total citywide so far, some numbers sticking in my head, which are not going to be able to be rebuilt because it is going to exceed more than half of the value of the property.
So what are they going to do with the property?
That becomes the issue that we had a meeting this morning with the Governor's Recovery Task Force. They had a meeting this morning at 10 o'clock over at Botanical Gardens downtown. We're going to be seeking North Carolina assistance in trying to get some mitigation monies to buy the properties, convey them to like a public easement and take down the structures. That is for the properties which the owners are unable to rebuild. In a floodway, it is going to be very difficult for you to rebuild. In a floodplain, it could be something as simple as if you've gone to the beach, all the houses are elevated on stilts. I'm not saying that you'd see houses on stilts, but they will be elevated against above what we call the base flood elevation. So if a base flood elevation in this area is determined to be, let's say 3 feet from the bottom of the wall here, then if you were going to try to rebuild, you had to elevate that above the base flood elevation. In your area, I'm not aware of any homes that have met that threshold, but I don't have the list with me. There may be some that have met that threshold of 50%. And in those situations, we are really still at the mercy of the state and of FEMA to come back and tell us how they're going to go about assisting those people, either to buy the properties out if the people don't have flood insurance, and then what we're going to do with the properties once the properties are bought out. The house is just going to stay there, or someone going to take it down, or is it going to be conveyed to an easement? That's the hardest part about this whole process so far. It's a very simple question, and it's a very complicated answer. It's because there's so many moving parts. And I don't have a full answer for you yet as to exactly which properties it's going to be and what the process is going to be for us to buy them out. The City Council on Monday will hear a presentation from staff to reprogram about $900,000 worth of CDBG, Community Development Block Grant funds, as well as some general fund dollars. Those monies are going to be released into the neighborhood, into the city, for low to moderate income homeowners, property owners, and some investors if they're of low to moderate income rental properties, to try to assist people. We believe that HUD will also come through with a further grant sometime in 2017 that will have monies that may allow us as a city to have access to go in and strategically buy out some properties for mitigation purposes as well. But as you can imagine, with more than $10 million worth of road and bridge projects which are damaged by the hurricane, every free dollar we get is having to compete with all of these demands. But again, a very simple question. I don't have a very simple answer for you. Yes, ma'am.
Sir, I have a question. I live right next to that development that you just spoke about, and no one's been in our street. And my house had 5 feet of damage. I lost everything. So they already took out 8 feet.
Wow.
The whole house is nothing but
Michelle.
Yes.
You say you live next to the
Yeah,
creek's
like
edge?
my
The
street,
before
like if
Creek's
you go
Edge?
through the woods, you can get to our street.
You live on Carnsmore.
Yes.
Carnsmore.
Yeah, so my
Okay,
house,
so you still got debris over there?
yes, but they've been doing a good job. I went and pushed it closer to the edge.
Okay,
So someone said to put it closer, so
Sure.
I fixed it all up and we
good.
cleaned it up, so,
Did they pick it up yet?
no, not yet.
What street
Okay.
is that again?
Carnsmore and Blairwood, there's a gentleman who has a handicapped daughter. His house is about as bad as mine. Our houses are the two worst ones, but no
Those-
one has come out from
Those folks right next to you live almost
Yeah,
next.
yeah, they're right next to me.
Next door.
But my house sits the lowest on the street, so mine had the worst. But no one's come out to see the property. Nobody from the city. Now, do I have to wait for the adjuster to come back? Cause it's gonna be a significant, it's gonna be,
No, you
Almost
just
80
give us your
probably.
address and, we'll make sure. that-
Yeah, we will.
because
we
no
see
one's,
someone.
no cops, no one's out, no, you know.
Cause we
yeah.
were in
This whole block
Creek's
party,
Edge. I
that whole
mean,
block, yeah, that really peed me off.
Yeah,
because
they were in
no one
Creek
came-
Are
Edge.
you behind Creek's Edge on this side or?
Well, if
Closer to the dam.
yeah, we're right next to the road, the dam, I mean, not the dam, the stream, is right next to
So
all
you
our
uphill
properties.
from Creek's Edge.
Yeah, we're right, like if you walk through the road, hard to explain.
We're down the stream.
Downstream. but
So it's
uphill.
in the neighborhood.
I'd like to
Yeah,
come,
right.
I'd like to come over tomorrow morning
Absolutely. If you
and,
let me know,
and look
I'll
at
be there.
that and,
Yeah.
just get familiar with the area.
Yeah, actually, I'll show you.
There are 3 areas in our neighborhood that have called us, for information, and it's the Carnsmore area, it's the Loch Ness area, and the Carraport area.
Yeah, Loch Ness got hit hard.
Loch Ness got hit hard, and Carraport got hit hard.
There's a poor lady that showed up at my place yesterday just crying. She's lived there for 40 years and she just doesn't know what.
Now, I want to ask you, you did register with FEMA, everyone did, okay. You had flood insurance?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so your adjuster has been out and
I haven't heard from him yet,
Oh,
so I filed a complaint, cause he
Gonna
came
get
out
back
and
with
that's
you,
it.
right? Did FEMA come in?
now has anyone done an assessment? I guess you're waiting on the adjuster to come out and tell you what the, without, okay.
The adjuster has been there or has not?
Yeah, he has been, yes, sir.
Okay, it'll take,
Oh, he has a couple more days until his
yeah,
60
it'll
days,
take a
then
while for
then
them.
I'll get his boss on the horn.
Yeah, but definitely, we're going to,
It'd just be nice to see somebody come see us.
we'll get you before you.
No, absolutely, yes, sir.
Just check, I'll make sure I check in with y'all, and get your phone numbers with you. Anyone else, because I know Rob has also got, some idea, as I mentioned, we had probably $10 million worth of roadway projects. You may have heard or seen, in the newspaper, on television, about Rayconda, which is further down, Rayford Road. Sipple Avenue, was washed out. Over in North Fayetteville, we had Shawcroft, Greenock, which is around the way. We had Mirror Lake, and there's one more I always forget, Offing Drive. And the week before that, we had Sykes Pond. And we're still assessing a lot of our bridges. We had Cool Spring Street in downtown, a building washed all the way through, a roadway. So now, if you're familiar with downtown, Ann Street has been gone for about 3 years. And the next crossway between Grove Street and Person Street was Cool Springs, and that also washed out. It's brought out by I would say St. Evans Metropolitan. Person Street. Yeah.
It would help to understand the county owns no roads and streets. Most, if not all, of Fairfield belong to North Carolina DOT. And we have 700 miles of city streets. Okay? That's a lot of streets. And a lot of them are damaged, a lot of them are on the brink of, if you go down Morganton Road, the edge from Washington, didn't quite collapse. And all of those things have got to be reassessed to determine what repairs have got to be done. And this is not easy, because when we talk about assessing the damage to our roads and streets, We gotta have engineers that do that, that know what they're doing. I can go out there and say, oh, that looks bad. And it's gonna cost a lot of money to fix it, but you understand what I'm saying? And so the task that Rob has is to get enough engineers to help do these assessments. And it's not a simple matter, they just can't walk out there. Let me give you a case in point. The Strickland Bridge Road is closed from Fisher Road to Dunbar. There's nothing wrong with the bridge. It's a new bridge that was put in about 4 or 5 years ago. But the roadway on this side, on the Rayford Road side of that bridge, water was washing across there, and I was down there looking at it, and it was eroding the soil from underneath the asphalt, right? Okay, simple. Let's dig up the asphalt, pack it down, replace it. Wait a minute. We found out there are 2 water lines there that have got to be moved. Okay? One belongs to Alcw, the other belongs to PWC. So then he's got to get with DOT, because that's their road. They've got to get with PWC, with Alcw, to realign those water lines, and we've got to reconstruct that road in such a fashion that we hope it won't happen again if we get a 100-year flood, whatever. So all of this, as city manager said, the problems are simple. The solutions become very complicated in some instances, okay? But I'll tell you, trust me when I tell you this, because I'm an honest politician, y'all know that.
Look me in the eye.
I won't lie to you, I'll give you the truth of it. You may not want to hear it, but we are moving as fast as we can. The trash debris, we're on a 7-day schedule. We got them on Sunday. Got them working on the roads on Saturdays and Sundays, okay? Trying to get these things. Old Mills Road is open again.
Yeah.
That's a good thing.
Yes,
But
it
man,
is.
okay, that's open. So we're hopeful that they'll get, when you gonna get Strickland Bridge?
That's what I
About
want.
2 more weeks. So we're hopeful to get these things done, get these roads open, to take some of the, because right now you got an excessive amount of traffic on Rayford Road, because there are other roads, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You got people that have to go down to the new Bingham Drive, because they can't cut through the old Bingham Drive. We got all kind of mess going on. So it's time for Rob to talk, because y'all still got to hear from Connie and Lieutenant Oak, and we can't take up all this meeting. Come on, Rob.
We won't be safe, Mr. Christian. I'm not a politician.
They wanna know about Grenada and the dam, and Bingham Drive, old Bingham Drive.
Bingham Drive, I can tell you Bingham Drive, that's a DOT road, and, what I've seen on the, and we've got all this information on our website. If you go to our homepage, there's a header up there that you click on that and it should have the updates for it. But, last I saw was they thought the estimated opening date for Bingham would be May of this year, so we still got a while for that's gonna be fixed. So,
Yeah, you better fix it, because idiots trying to go through it and fall in.
we've seen that, there's not a whole lot we can engineer out of that, unfortunately, that's some things the engineer can't fix.
You can't fix stupid.
That's right.
Not even with that, Judge.
If you've been to the edge of that trail, that Gulf
That's according to the
that wash
DOT
out.
website, that's the last day we have.
Yeah.
We're talking May on that, so
Okay.
that's a complicated situation to be remedied, okay? And we just can't go in and patch and dirt and that's what's happened in a lot of cases in past years. But when we fix it, we gotta fix it right, or we're just wasting your money. Okay?
You said Bingham was DOT,
Yes, DOT, yes.
and then the Greenock Dam is not DOT?
No, sir, that's a unique situation. We've got a couple of that cases where that is a city-maintained street on a private-owned dam. And so that's,
Yeah, we all wanna hear more about that.
Yeah.
and I've been working, with, unfortunately, I owe Mr. Young, the president of the homeowners association, several calls.
Yeah,
He's even stopped by, and I have not had an opportunity to sit down with him and I apologize for that, but, he has been working. I know you had an engineer firm come out to look at and give you some assessments.
Yeah.
And we also, when we initially had the damage, we hired an engineer firm that went to where we had our roads and bridges and looked at it. And so I have a initial assessment. We had a couple options. There's not an